Today, we're continuing my series sharing the best curly hair products of 2022. I'm going to be showing you my most used leave-in conditioners, curl creams, gels, and oils from both the drugstore and high-end versions. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Gina and I love making videos about curly hair. I love doing simplified step-by-step tutorials, talking about product ingredients, and really helping you find the best products for your curly hair type. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so before you go, and let's go ahead and dive in. I first wanted to clarify that these products are just the ones that I've been reaching for the most within the last year. There are tons of other products that I recommend and that I love, and I'm sure that you might notice are missing from this video that I've talked about in the past, and I might have included some of those in last year's Best of 2021 series that I did. So I'm not saying that I don't like those products or I don't use them anymore. These are just the ones that I've found I've been reaching for the most, but there are lots of other products that I love. I have a whole list of my recommendations on my Amazon page I can link for you down below, as well as the shop page on my blog. So let's go ahead and just dive in first to leave-in conditioners. So I have a drugstore and a high-end option for you. So the first high-end leave-in conditioner that I've really been enjoying lately is the Ouidad Curl Reboot Nourish and Strengthen Leave-In Mask. So this is, I guess, not technically a leave-in conditioner. I mean, it says a leave-in, but it's more so like a treatment or a primer. This is something that you use to help strengthen your curls. And it's really interesting because this actually doesn't contain protein. I was digging into the ingredients. I thought for sure I was gonna see a lot of protein ingredients because it does say strengthen, but I actually don't see that. So if your hair is protein sensitive or you don't find that you need protein, like if you have coarse curls, this is a great way to still strengthen your hair without causing that brittle feeling. This actually softens the hair, which is why I love it. It says perfect for thick and coarse curls. I have medium to coarse textured hair, and so those coarse areas can be very hard to manage, and this really helps to soften them. It's also a very lightweight liquidy leave-in, so it's very lightweight, which you wouldn't expect that for something labeled for coarse curls, but it's super like milky and lightweight, but it still delivers a ton of moisture, which I love. So this says that it helps to restore elasticity. It's highly moisturizing while being lightweight and also helps to prevent breakage. It says on here that it contains squalane, castor oil, and of course cetyl alcohol. A lot of these products have the same ingredients if they're creamy products, but I wanted to highlight some of those extra ingredients that really stand out. So I'm gonna have all of the details for every product on the screen so you can see if it has protein or not, or glycerin and all of that. So I had to throw in another high-end option because I had a really hard time choosing, and I also wanted to include a fragrance-free option for you and one that doesn't contain any protein either. So this is the Curlsmith fragrance-free Shine Cream. This curl cream is, well, I guess it's more of a leave-in. It actually says leave-in conditioner, but they call it a shine cream. This is unlike any leave-in that I've tried. It definitely adds shine, which is kind of rare to see in a cream product. So this is fragrance-free, so if you're sensitive to fragrances or if you just don't like them, this whole white and gold line from Curlsmith is fragrance-free. It's a phenomenal line. This is a pretty lightweight to medium weight product. I wouldn't call it the lightest, like it's not as liquidy as this, but it's more of just that traditional cream formula, but I do find it to be pretty lightweight, so great for fine to medium to coarse hair for any hair type. And as I mentioned, this is protein free, and the glycerin level is also pretty low on this. So now for a drugstore leave-in option, this is the Function of Beauty Curly Hair Leave-In Conditioner with Mango Butter. So I actually featured the Function of Beauty mask in the previous video that I did for this series for my best deep conditioners, but I've actually really been enjoying the leave-in conditioner as well. I was very pleasantly surprised with this whole line. It's pretty affordable at Target, and they also have these little booster drops that you can add to your products to customize them for what you want. So I actually added the one for curl definition. This contains ingredients that help define your curls, which I thought would be pretty cool to have in a leave-in conditioner, especially if I don't want to use a curl cream and I just want to go with a leave-in for a little bit of moisture underneath my gel. I can still get that curl definition and that curl enhancing, but the base product itself, this doesn't contain any protein. It has mango butter in it. Some other ingredients include safflower. It has polyquaternium, which is great for humidity, shea butter. And with the booster, this actually has flaxseed oil, chia seed extract, which apparently is like a derivative of protein. So I'm not entirely sure if that's purely a protein. So I would consider this no protein, and then very low if you add this in. I don't think it's going to give you any type of like protein effects. I think it's just strengthening, and I've heard that chia seed extract is great for curl definition, which makes sense why it's in this, so I don't really consider it like a protein. But this is very lightweight. It's not quite as liquidy as this Weedad one, but it's like one step richer compared to that, but it's not as thick as like a regular curl cream would be. Also, in case you're wondering, if you have very damaged hair or weak hair or very fine hair, you might want to look for protein in your products because that can help strengthen your hair. Whereas if your hair is very healthy, or if you have coarse hair or very low porosity hair that doesn't absorb products or water as easily, you might want to avoid protein. So I know I get that question a lot when you're shopping for products. So now let's dive into curl creams, and I just wanted to share first what I look for in a curl cream and what's the purpose of one and how it's different from a leave-in conditioner. So a curl cream usually has some styling agents that help to actually style the curls, whereas a leave-in conditioner is purely just for moisture and to prep and prime the hair. I don't usually use both. I mean, sometimes I will, but I find that a curl cream is still moisturizing. It still provides moisture, and it also helps to clump the curls and aid in curl definition. So I don't always find that I need to use both, but some people like to use both, or some people just use a leave-in. It really just depends. Leave-in conditioners tend to be a little bit more lightweight, so if I am going to use a very stronghold gel that I don't want to soften up by using too much moisture underneath, sometimes I'll go with a leave-in conditioner underneath, because then it's not going to soften up that gel cast too much. So these are the curl creams that I first wanted to talk about. This is the AG Recoil Curl Activator Cream. So this is actually their new packaging. I did feature this recently on Instagram. I love this curl cream, and it says it's an award-winning curl cream, and I definitely see why, because this one is unlike my other ones, because I actually noticed how much it helps to clump the curls and helps them spring back up, which is maybe why it's called a recoil. You definitely notice that curl retention. I've done a whole video on it, and I actually talked about this product in that video, but basically curl retention is how well your hair can spring back up if it's healthy, and this really helps with that. And I think it's the starch ingredients, because I have found that any curl creams that contain like cornstarch or some of these other starches, it really does help to clump the curls and help spring them up. So that's definitely something I've noticed and that I usually look for in a curl cream. It's very moisturizing. I find this to be like a medium weight, maybe a little bit heavy. I guess not heavy, more so just very rich and thick to where you only have to use a little bit. I've really been enjoying this for months now. So a cheaper alternative, or one that I noticed is kind of similar, is the Cantu Avocado Hydrating Curl Activator Cream. So this is definitely a little bit heavier because it does contain shea butter. It has avocado oil, but I've noticed that this one is a little bit more lightweight compared to the original formula that has like coconut oil and shea butter, which I always find those are in drugstore curl creams. I don't know what it is, but that can be very heavy, especially for people with fine hair. But avocado oil is a little bit more lightweight, so it does contain that. This is highly moisturizing. It does also contain glycerin. This does contain protein, but I notice it's pretty low on the list, and there's not a ton of different protein ingredients. It also has aloe, which is also pretty low on the list. And it does contain polyquat ingredients, which help to block out humidity and coat the hair. So it has quite a few of those, so that's awesome. So I actually have 2 more curl creams. I included 4 curl creams for this category because I wanted to have a variety with protein and without, depending on what you're looking for, and plus it's hard to choose when I love so many. But the next one that I have is the high-end version. This is the Curlsmith Hold Me Softly Style Balm. This has been a favorite of mine for so many years now. It's such a classic. Like if you just need a good moisturizing curl cream that softens the hair, helps with curl formation, this is a good one. I would consider this like a medium to heavy weight, probably more of like a medium weight. It's not very lightweight like you would find with like the air dry cream or something, but it's not as heavy as like their oiling cream that they have. So this one actually contains coconut oil in it, but again, I don't find it to be too heavy. It also has aloe in it, avocado oil, olive oil. So I notice a lot of similar ingredients that my hair tends to really like. Glycerin is pretty high on this ingredient list. It's totally protein free. All of the Curlsmith orange range that they have is completely protein free. And then for a drugstore option, I have the Cake, the Curl Friend Totally to Die For Defining Curl Cream. So I wanted to include this one. This was a newer find of mine that I actually got on Amazon. This one does a lot for shine for my hair. I don't know what it is. It does contain silicone, maybe that's what it is, but this one definitely gives me a lot of shine. I don't find that this builds up on my hair. I just have to make sure that I'm clarifying regularly. And if I am going to incorporate silicone, it'd be nice if it is in something that's going to help seal in the frizz and lock in the moisture. So this curl cream is unique in that it gives a lot of shine. And I don't know if that's from the silicone that's in here or what. I mean, I've never had it weigh down my hair, and I have been using this one quite a bit. This contains glycerin, it has soybean oil, avocado oil, shea butter. It has quite a few proteins in here, so this does have quite a few proteins to help strengthen your hair. I would call this one like a medium weight, maybe a little bit heavy because it does have some of those heavier ingredients like shea butter, but it's not too thick and rich. Like, I feel like you could probably still use this if you do have fine hair. I would just use a small amount. So I would also consider the moisture level and the glycerin level to be high on this one. So the next category is going to be gels, and I just wanted to share what I look for in a gel. I usually prefer gels that are very lightweight and liquidy and also very moisturizing, but also strong hold. So you'll see that as sort of a theme with all of these gels. So the first one that I have is one of my all-time favorites. This is the Ouidad Advanced Climate Control Stronger Hold Gel. I can't tell you how many times I've talked about this gel in my content, but it's for a good reason. If you struggle with getting a hold with this gel, I recommend using less curl cream, and I'll talk about what I like to pair with all of these gels in a second. But I've noticed that if you use too much like moisturizing ingredients underneath, like if you use a heavy curl cream or a leave-in, it might soften your gel cast. But anyways, this is the stronger hold version in the red bottle. This is the version you need, not the one in the white bottle. But I love this one because it contains multiple polyquat ingredients, so it really helps to block out humidity. I also read that this helps protect your hair from the sun, from UV rays. It also helps, of course, to moisturize, add shine, and it also reactivates with water. So that's something else that I look for in a gel, is one that can be easily refreshed with just water, because I don't want to have to put a ton of work into my hair, and I need a gel that's going to be very long lasting. So this also contains shea butter, so it's very moisturizing. It contains this ingredient called sericin, which they said helps to prevent frizz when I was reading about it. It also contains castor oil, aloe, shea butter, coconut oil, and some copolymers that help with holds. I think this one is so great at blocking out humidity and providing hold compared to others because it has multiple holding ingredients and multiple polyquat ingredients, whereas other gels I find that just have like one polyquat or one holding ingredient are not strong enough hold for me, so that's just something I've observed. And if you don't love strong hold gels, you can totally customize the hold level with this. As I said, if you use a very moisturizing curl cream underneath, or if you apply it to very soaking wet hair, or if you don't use as much gel, you'll get a lighter hold with it. So it is very buildable. I also wanted to share what creams and leave-ins I like to pair underneath this gel. So I usually go with this one from Ouidad because it is very lightweight and it doesn't soften the cast too much. But if I need a little bit more moisture, I'll usually go with either the Bounce Curl Clump and Define cream. I almost included that curl cream in this video, but I wanted to make sure I had a good variety here, and I think I featured that one last year, but that's one of my all-time favorite curl creams. So I've used that with it, and I've also used the AG Recoil cream with it, and this pairs really well with it too. So this is sort of like a drugstore dupe, but it's still not as good as the Ouidad one because, like I said, it doesn't have quite as many of the same ingredients, but it has some similar ones. So this is the Dove Amplified Texture Shine and Moisture Finishing Gel. I believe this was in last year's favorites as well. But this does contain glycerin as the second ingredient. I also wanted to mention that these gels do contain glycerin, but because they're paired with those polyquat ingredients, they should not frizz up in humidity. I don't find that that happens a lot with these. I know a lot of you ask about that, like why does it contain glycerin? But this is literally formulated for humidity. So they know that, and they formulated it with the right ingredients to counteract the effects of glycerin. But anyways, this one also has polyquat ingredients in it. It actually only has, I think, one or two. Oh, it does have two in here, so that's good. It also has aloe, castor oil, which is also going to help seal, shea butter. This does have coconut oil, but I don't find this to be heavy at all. I think sometimes when you see like shea butter and coconut oil, we usually associate that with being heavy, but sometimes it can be formulated to be lightweight. This is a perfect example of that. I mean, look how liquidy this gel is. It's very lightweight. I don't find it to be too heavy. Every time I've used this gel with a very moisturizing cream, I don't get very long-lasting results or a lot of hold. So I think I need to just try using it by itself because it is so moisturizing, and maybe with the Ouidad gel too, like just try it by itself if you're really struggling getting a hold. So when it comes to curl creams that I've paired with this, like I've tried a couple different things. I tried a leave-in conditioner one time that softened it too much, But the best results that I remember getting with this gel was actually with the Heritage Ahead of the Curl Cream. So I have a video, it's a drugstore humidity routine that I can link for you, but I used those two products together and I loved my results. So that's a good one to pair with this. So now I actually have two other gels. These are actually not humidity blocking gels, and these are more so gels that I reach for in the fall and the winter time. Also, I wanted to mention, you don't have to have multiple gels for different seasons. I'm just crazy and I like to switch it up, but you can totally use these in the winter, and I do, especially if you live somewhere that it still rains and stuff in the winter, try that. But I like to play around with other gels, and I really enjoy the custard formula, and especially when it comes to moisture retention. So these two gels are great at moisture retention, which is what I need in the winter time because my high porosity hair gets so dry in the winter. So this is the Curlsmith Curl Defining Styling Souffle. This is one of my top gels of all time because this one, it's just such a long-lasting gel. Like, I barely have to refresh it all. Some of the best hair days that I've had was actually pairing this with the Bounce Curl Clump and Define Cream with this on top. It lasted for like 5 days without refreshing. I was totally blown away. But anyways, this particular gel helps with frizz. It's a very buildable hold. I would consider it like a medium hold, but you can definitely use more and get a stronger hold. However, so many of you have told me that if you use too much, you get a very stringy look, and I've definitely had that happen before. So a little goes a long way. Because it does contain some oils and stuff, I think if you use too much, it can give that stringy look. So just use a little bit, maybe scrunch with a towel before you diffuse to help absorb the excess product if you have used too much. This also reactivates with water, provides lots of shine. It also contains quite a bit of film forming humectants, which are very moisturizing ingredients that create a film on the hair to prevent moisture from escaping. So that's why I love these in the winter time, because we don't want the moisture to evaporate easily out of our hair. And it also contains some oils in it, which also help to lock in moisture. So all great ingredients. And again, when I see lots of those different ones combined, I tend to get the best results. Then this drugstore gel is actually very similar. I believe you can get this at Target and on Amazon. This is the Kinky Curly Original Curling Custard. This is actually what I have in my hair today. This is such an underrated product. Like, I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talk about this anymore, but it's such a good one. It's also glycerin free, but it does contain other humectants. I personally don't worry about glycerin too much, and a lot of the products that you think are glycerin free, they just contain other humectants. You have to have humectants in your products or else your hair will just dry out, and you don't want that. So this contains nettle, marshmallow, aloe, agave extract, pectin. Those are all humectants. Some of them are film forming humectants, which again makes it great for moisture retention. But the reason I wanted to include this one is I was shocked at the longevity I got out of this gel. I got some of my most long lasting results with using this gel. So this again is like that custard formula. I don't think it has any oils in it. So if your hair gets weighed down with something like this that contains oil, maybe go with something that doesn't contain oil like this one, and it's a little bit more lightweight. I would also consider this like a medium to a flexible hold or a buildable hold. The moisture level is pretty high, and it also does not contain protein. I also wanted to mention that neither one of these contain protein ingredients. So I used this in my hair today, actually with the AG Recoil Cream, and I don't love my results. Like, it did mix really well. It's hard to find a cream to mix with this one. You want to just test it in your palm to make sure it combines well and doesn't like clump up before you use two products together. But I don't find that I got a ton of hold. Like, I have a little bit more frizz than usual, and the gel cast kind of just disappeared completely, and I was left with a little bit more frizz than usual. I still think my results look pretty good, but I think this curl cream just really softens up everything, so just keep that in mind. It is highly moisturizing and pretty thick, so it can just soften up your gel cast. I think the best results that I ever got with this was when I used it with the Not Your Mother's Curl Talk Defining Cream. That cream contains some polyquats in it too, which help with humidity, and that cream even gives a little bit of a hold. So that was really great with this. I just haven't used that one for a while, so that's why I haven't mentioned it. Also, the Bounce Curl Cream that I mentioned pairs really well with this. And then the AG Recoil did mix pretty good. So next category are different oils. So I only have two to share with you. This is the Curlsmith Fragrance Free Shine Oil. So I wanted to pick an oil that's very multi-purpose and great for any hair type. And this is the one I've used the most. You can see how much I've used out of it, and you only need a little bit, so definitely says a lot. I've been using this a ton to dry detangle. I've been using it as a pre-poo oil. I use it to scrunch out my gel cast, so it's a great multi-purpose oil. This one does not contain any fragrance either, so it's part of that Shine collection, which doesn't have any fragrance in it. I love this glass bottle that it's in too. So this is great for Shine, and it also is super lightweight and very fast absorbing, which is why I love it for a pre-poo oil, because I'm impatient and I don't love to have to wait to shampoo my hair. A lot of times I decide to apply a pre-poo oil like just a few minutes before I jump in the shower. So if you don't have time to wait, use something that is pretty lightweight, because you need that oil to absorb before you go and shampoo, or else it's hard to shampoo with oil in your hair. But you can also just apply it before you go to bed at night, which is another great option. And I kind of had a hard time picking a drugstore hair oil because I have so many other oils and I just haven't used them up from higher end options. So I haven't really used this a ton, but this is one that I do recommend because it's very similar in that it's very lightweight. This is the Not Your Mother's Curl Talk Scalp and Hair Treatment Oil. This is probably the most lightweight drugstore oil that I found, and it does not contain silicone, neither does the Curlsmith one. But this has sunflower seed oil. It says it contains a superfood oil blend, very lightweight. I wouldn't apply this really to the scalp. I mean, you could because it says that, but I just like to use oils on the links of my hair. This also contains avocado oil, buriti fruit oil, marula seed oil, and it does have fragrance in this one. So this one is both to add shine and also to penetrate into the hair. So it's both a penetrating and a sealing oil. A lot of times these oil blends will contain a mixture of both types of oil, making them pretty multi-purpose. So you can use them at the start of your routine and also at the end of your routine to add shine and to scrunch out your gel cast. So I'm gonna summarize all of this on the blog post that goes with this video. I've been doing like a chart comparison with all of these videos in this series, so that way you can see the breakdown of everything when you're shopping, so that way you don't have to take notes with the notes here on the screen. So I hope you found this helpful. If you enjoyed this video and you wanna see more from this series, let me know what you wanna see next. I think I'm going to do the hairdryer comparison next, because I know a lot of you are shopping for that for the holiday season right now. Also, if you missed the last video in this series, I will have it linked right here on the screen. That includes my top shampoos, clarifying shampoos, conditioners, and deep conditioners of the year. So my most used shampoos and conditioners, and I will talk to you over there. Bye everyone.